So I'm a golf caddy, and I started a little series where I talk about some of the celebrities that I've caddied for. And next up, this guy right here. Yeah, that's Caleb Pressley. Don't think he needs an introduction. Let's talk about it. So right when I met Caleb for the first time, the first thing he said to me after we shook hands and introduced ourselves, he said, "What do you say to people who say you look like Bam Margera?" And I was like, "I say I don't." And he goes, "No, you do." And just stares at me intently. Doesn't even crack a smile. And I start cracking up. I'm like, okay, I don't look like Bam Margera. And then he literally doubles down and goes, "No, you do." I was like, all right, nice to meet you. And then right after that, he asked me another question. He goes, "Do you know why people call me Caleb Pressley?" And I was like, "Why?" And he's all, "Because it's my name." So anyways, we got to the first green, and on the first green, he asked me for a read, and he goes, "Full transparency, I don't normally use a caddy, but I'm going to ask you for a line here." And so I give him the line, lips the putt. I mean, it should have went in. It's one of those ones where it should have went in, and he looks back at me and he goes, "You gave me the wrong line, true or yes?" I was like, "True or yes?" I was like, I didn't even know I froze. I didn't even know how to answer that question. Anyways, a few holes later, we're in a fairway bunker on like 6 or 7. I can't remember what hole it was. But he looks at me and goes, "Hey, why aren't you wearing a green jacket?" I said, "What?" He said, "Why aren't you wearing a green jacket?" I said, "Because I'm wearing what we're required to wear." And he says, "Oh, well, I guess you don't want to be a caddy for a Masters champion." I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "You need to dress for the job you want. You want a caddy here, or you want a caddy for a Masters champion?" I mean, what am I supposed to say at this point? I just started laughing again. I'm like, what iron do you want? And then finally on 18, when we wrapped up, I'll never forget when we took off our hats to shake each other's hands, say, "Hey, good round, good round." He locks my hand in a handshake. And he looks at me and says, "Hey, let me tell you something." I said, "Yeah?" He goes, "What if I tell you that I've used a lot of caddies, but I've never actually used the caddies?" I said, "What?" Again, I'm like, "What?" You know, this guy, man. I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, I've never actually used their reads, and I used some of your reads today. Thank you." And I said, "Hey, Caleb, I'm a top 3 caddy locally. I'm not 3, I'm not 2. You run the numbers." He just stared at me. He didn't even say anything. He said, "But what a day, man." I mean, he might be one of the funniest persons. He's top 3, okay? Funniest people that I played with or caddied for.